call this meeting to order. We will arise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Cedar Lake Redevelopment Commission for May 16. Roll call, please.
Mr. Viss.
Here.
Mr. Burnham.
Here.
Mr. Spencer.
Here.
Mr. Parker.
Here.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Present.
Mr. Lewis. Here. Mr. Smith is absent. Mr. Carnahan.
Here.
Mr. Salatin.
Present.
Mr. Austin.
Present.
Ms. Sandberg will be absent. Ms. Abernathy present.
All right, nearly the whole gang's here. Connie, good to see you again.
Thanks.
All right, well, my favorite part of the meeting, besides when we get to adjourn and go home, is the Explore Everyday Community Recognition. And we have with us here this evening Armando, and forgive me because I'm Dutch. Is it Teresa?
Teresita.
Yes. All right. Well, welcome. It's good to see both of you folks. I was just in your restaurant and grocery store last week buying a whole lot of goodies for the family. So we started something a little over a year ago where we decided it would be good to recognize those folks that have invested significantly into the town, both of their time, their finances, both to build businesses for themselves, to build businesses for their family, to help the community. And we've been recognizing businesses once a month for the course of the past year. And at our last month's meeting, your business came forward, and we wanted to say congratulations and thank you for investing in the town. We'd like to give you a little opportunity to share with us why you chose Cedar Lake and some of the plans you might have for the future of your business. We'd like to take a picture with you, throw it out there on Facebook, and encourage folks to use your business. So,
okay.
Come on forward.
Thank you. I'll watch.
I thought you were being brought here to speak.
I'll watch. I'll be.
You're there for support, right?
Oh, right there. So
Tell
tell
us a little story.
Why did you choose Cedar Lake?
We moved in 2009. We used to live in St. John, and for some reason God brought us to Cedar Lake. We found a house was in March. Then a year later, it was 2008. 2009, he lost his job in May. Then we suffered for a little bit, and I was selling stuff with my friends at work all the time. It was my thing. After work, I was selling more stuff. And I told my husband it was a good idea to open a store. We saw the building on 133rd next to our building when we started.
Okay.
And that building was for sale. And he said, "You're crazy. We are never going to do, we don't have a job. We don't have a job. You are planning to open a business?" And I said, "Wow, we have a little bit of money. And I said, to buy a building or to open a business is not enough." And we called the lady, the owners of that building, and the lady said, "We have the building for sale." And I said, "Can you rent it to us?" And she said, "Well, I can come over and show it to you." And then we got the building for rent. We started working, remodeling. It took us 3 months to remodel it. We got it in September, October, and we opened in December 18,
Okay.
2009. Then we were working for almost 4 years, and the building where we have the business now, it was also for sale. And we came to the owners and asked them, "Can you wait for us? We don't have enough money to buy the building, but we are very interested in getting that one because this building doesn't have a parking lot." And we were using their parking lot. And they said, "No, it's for sale. Sorry, we had to sell it," because it was like the kids of the owners, original owners, and they wanted their money. I said, "Well, it's going to be gone. That's fine." They couldn't sell it for almost a year and a half. And then when they decided to open remodel the road, we came to the owners and they said, well, you're gonna get a little bit of money from the town, so we got an offer, and then we got the building.
And ever
Yeah.
since, off to the races.
Yeah, we've been there for 8 years already.
Okay,
So all we wanted is just to have something for the town.
mhm,
We didn't have any Mexican grocery stores in town. We used to go all the way to Hammond or Chicago to get our groceries.
mhm,
And we see the Hispanic people around there were asking for something like that. And by the time we opened, they closed the big store in town. So it were perfect. People, they came to us and they knew what we were offering.
mhm.
Nothing strange. People, they were coming inside and looking at them, and they just leaving. And little by little, they were getting used to us.
Mhm.
To see that we were not just, we all wanted it was to work. And here we are.
How many employees are you operating out of the store right now?
We have, I think it's around 20, 21.
Okay,
and
so you went from having no job to saying, let's open up a business, and now about 13 years later, you're employing
Yeah.
20 folks and providing significant value to the community. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Thanks for making that leap.
I'm sorry.
That's an awesome story.
Plus, my English is not very good, so.
No, that's a phenomenal story. I know my family loves going there. I think a lot of folks here on this commission as well. So thank you very much for choosing Cedar Lake to be your home, for investing in the community, for putting kids to work. I love it. Every time I go in there, you have young folks behind the counter. And I used to work at a Piggly Wiggly grocery store. So it's always a little near and dear to my heart to see young kids behind.
There are families.
Yeah, that's awesome.
After they start working with us, we tell them, you are not employees, you are part of the family.
Yep.
So we have to take care of the business because a lot of people depend on this place, and we have to provide good things to the community.
Kudos. Anyone else in the commission?
Congratulations.
Well, you know. And we don't do a lot of advertising. We don't want to bring people from Glover. So.
But it's a sign of success when you have 2 more Mexican restaurants now
I know.
with Vidilla and El Jimador
Estimador.
moving in. It's because of you guys that that's happening.
And
Because-
2 others.
Oh, yeah, El
One
Salto.
more, it's also coming.
So-
We'll hear something.
So Cedar Lake used to be kind of known as Pizza Lake, as a joke, we had all these pizza places. And now we're becoming a hotbed for Hispanic food. I mean, this is fantastic. And you guys started this movement, so congratulations to you. And now people are saying, hey, there's something going on here in
Yes.
Cedar Lake that we didn't even realize, and you had the guts to try it. And my hat's off to you. You're a real story of what this country was built on, was people coming here from somewhere else and working their tails off and making something of their lives, following a dream. So I appreciate having you here as neighbors, and I love patronizing your store, and there's not any better out of cheddar meat anywhere in Northwest Indiana. So I'm very happy to be a customer of yours, and hope for many years of success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a picture.
Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you very, very much.
Keep putting those kids to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we got the business, when we started, he was 2 years old.
Was he really?
Yeah, he's been at that place every single day.
You want to be in a picture with us? Come on. You're a photo. We'll stand back here.
You should.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
We're very, very
All right.
happy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Do we need to get one down over here to even it out?
We'll take one, maybe, if Mr. Parker would come. Looks a little off kilter.
We're all black, sure, we'll be good.
Guys, room some pictures.
Take up the whole front page of the paper like you.
He says that after the election.
Your words, sir, not mine.
All right.
All right, got a couple.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story. Hey, thank you. Sir? Hey, good to meet you. Congrats, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, that will be really good place.
Glad to hear that.
Yep.
Comfort. Good to see, not really. Good to see.
You're all good?
Can we go? Yep. You can head back to work, get back to the
Go back to
family.
work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of information.
I thought it might be on Sunday.
All right, we're gonna move to our consent agenda. We've got approval of the 18-2022 meeting minutes and claim fund 404, $0, and fund 804, the amount of $9,748.71. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, just by way of note, wondering if we can make a Scrivener change. It's been brought to my attention, I went off of rote memory, which is a bad thing. It was my estimation that the amount that we were gonna pay per half year towards summer wind was roughly $15,000. Chris has brought to my attention, that we had previously approved 2021, it was $19,250 each April and each October. So if everyone is okay with a Scrivener change to a reflection in our minutes from last month, that it should be two $19,250 installments, not the $15,000. Is everyone okay with that being a Scrivener change?
And that's 2 payments a year?
Yes, yep. Okay, hearing no objection.
No objections.
All right, then we'll do a roll call, please.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vitt?
Yes. All right. New business. You know, I think at the end of the day, that one's probably one of my most favorite today, the one we just had.
They're a great family, and they're just the quintessential American story, right? I mean, it's what our ancestors did.
Yep.
Many years ago, came here and built something out of nothing.
I remember how quickly they turned out.
Awesome.
Turned around.
Fred,
every
did you
model.
know that story though before they started?
Yeah.
I mean, I did not know that.
Yeah, and if you remember in their old store behind there, when they were at the place right next door, behind the counter, there was a case where they had a $5 bill in it. It was the first money they ever got paid while they're in the grocery business.
Mhm.
They kept the $5 bill. I said, man, that is really cool.
Yeah.
And now they're making a living out of it and have a wonderful product, so.
It's their employees. I'll tell you what. You walk in, they're helpful, and they're young
Awesome
folks.
people.
Dynamite. Yep.
High quality products too.
Definitely is. Is there any suggestions for this month that we want to promote for Explore Everyday Community Recognition?
I was thinking maybe getting away from the food though this month. We've been getting a lot of restaurants. I mean, there's Banner Flooring that's been in that building for quite a while. I think they've gone through like 3 or 4 restaurants next to them and they're still around, so. I don't know, I was thinking somewhere along that line. We get a lot of food and I just figured it'd be time maybe we switch it up a little, but
Have
you know,
we
I'm
done
open to
Yancey's?
suggestions. What?
Have we done Yancey's?
No.
I don't think so.
We done Yancey's?
Oh, we have?
Yes, he's on the other end, right?
Yeah, alright.
I think so.
I don't think we did Yancey's.
It's not on our list since 2018.
No.
And they're the oldest place in town.
Well, like I said, I was throwing out there just to figure
Make a
maybe,
nomination in there.
Not done Leo's either.
I'll make a nomination for, was it Nancy's?
Yancey's.
What is, hold on, what is that?
It's a carpet place.
Next to,
They've been there forever, next to Leo's.
Leo's, right.
We never
Yancey's
had
House
them
of
in
Carpet.
there?
Yeah.
Wow, alright, I'm in, I'll make a nomination for it. It's pronounced Nancy's,
Yancey, with a Y.
with a Y.
There's a second?
Second.
All right, roll call?
Who seconded it? Who'd you accept?
Either Greg,
Not really.
I had Doug.
Oh, Greg seconded them?
Oh,
Well, there was three of us at the same time.
Okay, I'm losing my hearing, so I'm going off who's closer.
You make the choice, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, we'll go with Mr. Spencer.
It's been a while.
I won't fight over it.
All right.
That's right. Mr. Parker can have the next one. All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes. All right, thank you. Next, we've got resolution number 2022-03, TIP revenues for consolidated Cedar Lake 133rd Avenue Economic Development Area. Mr. Austin, the floor is yours.
This is the annual TIP increment capture notification resolution under Title 36 of the Indiana Code that is your announcement to the IDLGF and tax collection that you intend to capture all of the increment that is collected next year for your use in the identified projects and or budget that you called out for use. This is annual. It's necessary. $800,000 or thereabouts in distribution is hinging on it, and it has a timeline. I had this done last month. I should have had this here sooner, but it's the same, subject to the annual updates of legislative mischief. It's the same process, minimally. It gets tweaked usually, but in any event, we need this to be done. I would suggest the attachment is the worksheet that verifies no more than 200% of increment capture exists. You don't have your clerk here tonight, and Sue Hayes, our utility financing specialist, usually participates in that for verification. I would recommend that you consider adoption contingent upon the worksheet being completed and verification that the percentage term is met. By the way, in 20 years, you've never not qualified here in Cedar Lake. So I don't see any reason we're not going to qualify this year for the same reason.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, Dave, but this was the result of us needing to show downstate that we are not just housing these dollars in a savings account, we're putting them back to work actively.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They don't want this to be the rainy day fund for
Right.
communities, active use in the TIF district formally, but
Right.
contingent.
So we've got resolution number 2022-03, a resolution of the Cedar Lake Redevelopment Commission concerning the 2023 budget year determination for the need to capture incremental assessed valuation within the consolidated Cedar Lake 133rd Avenue Economic Development Area allocation area and all matters related thereto. I'll entertain a motion for same.
Motion to approve?
Mr. Niemeyer, motion. Is there a second?
Mr. Parker. I'll second.
Mr. Parker. All right, discussion?
Had to make sure I wasn't sleeping.
Roll call.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vick?
Yes. All right, thank you, Dave, for preparing, keeping us on track.
Nathan, I want you and the commission to be aware, we watch this awfully carefully. We pay attention to it during the legislative session. We pay attention to it in the collections throughout the year. We're currently working on, at your direction, the TIP audit, if you will, the TIP parcel audit. And as a supplement to this item on the agenda, I would report to you that there's a meeting next week with Corby Thompson, Phil Facenda, Chris Salatas, and myself to finalize the review of those parcels and any additions or deletions or additions needed for the effectiveness of the funds collected to the community.
Okay. Along those same lines, Dave, I was going to ask, we had previously discussed a TIP expansion of 41 corridor. Do we have a,
That's part of the discussion.
that's part of that discussion, okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It'll be
I was
included.
gonna ask that question as well about the Lakeside Business Park, that they're getting ready to start putting buildings up, we need to capture.
We have this year, I've been assured by bond council, financing council, we are in okay condition time-wise. We have till the end of the year to do this.
Okay. Because, yeah, that whole corridor, there's going to be a lot more in the next year.
Well, it's a blank slate. really, I mean, honestly, and this is the time to really redo our strategy and capture that whole corridor.
That's the plan for the discussion.
Okay, perfect.
We expect a substantial report to you in June.
Okay. Ms. Abernathy, if we could just make a note to have executive session, some of the things that we'll be discussing coming out of this, maybe in exec session, I can talk to you offline about that, but let's just get that scheduled so we can have an in-depth before our next meeting. Just 20 minutes should be sufficient. Thanks. All right, project updates. We've got the clerk treasurer's fund report that's been distributed. Ms. Sandberg is not here, but it appears that everything is in good order that's on there. Chris, is there any updates that you can share with us or questions that come out of your office from this?
I believe as it was discussed at the last meeting, and why we were waiting until July for the true-up was just that, some of the projects that we've got going, we're just solidifying where the funding's coming out of. The road projects mostly right now are a bit of that. They've been some minor changes, nothing huge. And then if you could maybe do a half-hour executive session at the next meeting, I believe we'll have probably some in-depth things to talk about at that meeting.
Perfect.
Did you get that too?
Okay.
No, I did not.
So June 20th will be at 5:30.
Yeah. All right, facade grants, moving along, page 16. Ms. Abernathy, what do we have here? We've got a couple outstanding. I believe.
Yes, I don't think we've heard back from Mr. Lindermulder. I've been out of town this past week, so I don't know if Mr. Solakis has received anything while I've been away.
Okay.
No,
I think,
not to my knowledge.
there's one more sign that's coming out there, and I've been told it'll be done within the month, so I think that's the last thing that he's waiting for, so. Yep. Okay. Anything on facade grants? And we've agreed to hold off on any distributions until we get our July funding in. In addition to project updates, Dave or Chris, is there anything that you can share as to the lake eco restoration project? Anything that we need to be mindful of there moving along?
No status quo from last month.
No, moving along, there is a bid out currently, and I believe that bidding process will close on the 31st for the phase 2, the actual dredge contractor. So once those bids are back, we'll be ready to go. I'm tentatively planning a groundbreaking for the sediment dewatering facility on the 27th. I should have that solidified tomorrow, and once we do that, we're full steam ahead.
Excellent.
You want to report on our meeting out there with the post last Thursday?
Oh, we did have a brief meeting with the Post-Tribune. I believe it was Randy, Bob, Julie, myself, Don Oliphant, and then Bob Gross from the Pinecrest Marina and Clea Group. We had I think it was for the purposes of creating an article about the project, and they will certainly be invited back, as well as this board, to that ribbon cutting and groundbreaking. But we went through the project with them, the scope, the scale, and tentative timelines, what to see. I think they're pretty impressed by it. When you go out there and you look at the farm field, it's 45-acre sediment dewatering facility. Sounds well and good, but you really don't get a true scale of the project until you go out there and you see potentially how big this dirt bowl is going to be. So I'm really excited to see it completed this year, because it's going to be definitely landscape changing for the duration while it's out there. It's going to be an impressive structure to see put together and then filled up.
I was pleased that the Post-Tribune had shown interest in the project, and it kind of came up as a topic of discussion during some campaign interviews I did, and Carrie said, hey, I want to follow up on that, and she did, and they brought a photographer out, and I think it's important to do this kind of press for something like that, because so many people still believe it's not happening. Mm-hmm. And talk to Chris about putting together that kind of ceremony to kick it off, as well as maybe a little reception, if possible, to just celebrate this occasion, of a project that was very hard to get to the finish line. And I told the story of when Greg and I became everybody's enemy in a council meeting, when we, pretty well laid the hammer down to the old Army Corps project, that night, and everybody thought that the air had been let out of the balloon, but what it really was an opportunity to start fresh and do something the community could afford. And I'm looking forward to that article. I think it's gonna be good for the community to see that, and just everybody that's put so much time and effort into it, to have an opportunity to say, yes, we're there, we're finally making it happen.
And it saves some big bucks.
Saved a lot of money.
Yeah. We regularly get calls from the town hall on a nearly daily basis, people asking, is it happening? And the question that our staff, or the answer our staff, yes, it's absolutely happening.
Let's put it this way, by squashing the old project, we saved our road projects that we've been doing since then, because we would have used every bit of stormwater revenue to fund that engineering study with the Army Corps, and we would have had zero community crossings projects going on, because we used stormwater as part of our match. So, lots of tough things to get through, but walking that field was really kind of a neat moment, and when they start moving dirt there, we'll be even better.
The question I face from a lot of folks is, can I take my metal detector out there and find my wedding ring?
Yeah, we get that.
I can tell you what Don Ellis said.
Yes, but we won't find you.
He said that if you walk into the area that will be fenced off, where the actual sediment will be dewatering, he says it'll be like quicksand. You won't be found until that is all drained.
It will be 10 feet deep, the berms will be 12 feet high and fenced, so we're gonna take every precaution to keep people out of it, because, and as well, I tell anyone that asks that question, there's a grinder on the barge, so any metal object will be ground to probably a fine dust or close to, so if you're looking for wedding rings or precious metals, you're not gonna find it.
Not gonna happen.
Hoff is going with it.
You think Hoff is out there?
I think Hoff is in there.
I'd be surprised what they do find.
And they're
My
going
wife's cell phone's
they're
in
gonna
there.
start at the south end of the lake and then add pipe
I
to
would've
get
got
towards
that
the north end.
Yeah, I knew where that.
Yeah, and access to the lake will be
Continue,
continuous throughout this process.
except for this section they're working on.
Yep, good. Well, thanks for that update, thanks for the hard work there. I know that's a decade or more in the making. Third, what's that?
2.5 decades.
Third item on the agenda, financial analysis TIP projects. I'm not sure we have anything to discuss there. Chris, do we have anything from your end?
No, like I mentioned, we're waiting for some of the projects to finalize, and then we'll have a, similar to what you see on this back page, or the second to back page. We'll have a Excel spreadsheet, created by our Sue Hayes, our, utility specialist, outlining the projects, where all the funds are coming from, so that way we'll have an accurate depiction of where the money is being spent and what we have capacity for.
Okay. Very good. Anything from the commission? School court?
I have a couple of fun things.
Share 'em.
We had registration for our Hanover Kitty Academy, home of the kitty cats, and it went very well. We're mostly full, probably full by now. The second thing is this weekend is our spectacular, spring spectacular. We call it SPEC. It's put on by the choir department. If you've never seen it, it's amazing the level of talent that Hanover has. Lastly, our baseball team, which we loved watching last year, and then they graduated a bunch of kids, beat the number 1 3A in the state last week.
Who's that that you played?
Andrew,
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
5-1.
Holy
Wow.
smokes.
Wow. So, well, shout out to them.
Kudos.
It's a respectable
I'm a
meeting.
proud 4-year member of the Sound Express at Hanover, by the way. Show choir, that was our name. Good times.
Thanks for the update, appreciate it. Anything else from the town council?
This is National Police Week, so let's remember our 24 police officers. We've got 23, we're short one, and we're trying to hire one. and Chamber will have a fishing derby for the first 100 kids that show up. They'll give them a free cane pole, and it's free fishing that entire weekend. That you don't need a license.
Very good. Anything else from town council?
I'm not a councilman tonight. I put that hat up.
And four. Chris,
Uh,
anything?
Yeah, Chris, would you talk about, you got a meeting with the people on Parish Avenue paving this Thursday?
We do, so, as in part of the projects that you're funding, the road projects, we have a meeting at 6 o'clock on Thursday over the Parish Avenue. It's gonna be constructed in 2 phases. There's gonna be interruptions to, specifically Randy. I made sure to ask the contractors to block Randy's house. But I think we sent out, between 40 and 60 notifications to property owners who, at different times throughout the project, will be adversely affected, either temporary hour to inability to access their property, at least with their car, and then potentially longer for some people. So we're just gonna outline the project, when you can expect those interruptions to happen, what the detours are gonna be, and/or what the staging area for parking and whatnot would look like. So if you live on Parish or near Parish, please come to that meeting, 6 o'clock on Thursday. That project will start June 3rd, the day after school ends. So we did time it specifically to avoid any problems with the school. We do understand that there are some staff that remain after the school hours end, so we did invite the school to come and participate as well, send special notifications, that way they can make arrangements as part of that. And then one thing that Randy did mention that he didn't go to, but we've had a impressive amount of ribbon cuttings. We've had 2 this month. Frank Mervan showed up to one of them, Congressman Frank Mervan.
Oh, wow.
And,
Is he carrying all the bags of cash?
He must have dropped them off, because when I saw him, he didn't have it, so they'll be somewhere. But our Plan Commission and BZA have been very busy, so I would expect more ribbon cuttings in the near future. There's a lot of interest commercially here in Cedar Lake.
Don't expect to see Renee at all of them.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, you will this summer.
It's election year.
Yeah.
Noted.
That
Thanks.
Judith Green was on Fox talking about them.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, how far north down Parish is it gonna start?
It will go from essentially the school to just before Beacon Point, I think in that area.
237.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at my calendar here for Thursday night. I want to come and complain and remonstrate. I never get to do that.
Let me know how that works for you.
How much fun would that be?
Right, good luck.
But the question I have, if I can't make it, is like Winding Creek and Utopia.
It will be YouTube, so it will be viewable for anyone who can't make that specific meeting.
Okay, but Winding Creek and Utopia both have main entrances off of Parish.
Mhm.
Utopia's only entrances
Is
are off of
off
Parish.
Parish.
So there'd have to be one entrance at least remaining
Open.
open
Yeah.
for emergency vehicles at the very least.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll just have to get out my old
So Parish is
council
from-
badge.
From 133rd all the way to what?
I
141st.
get that street now, yeah, but.
Is it going north then from?
South.
Only south?
Yeah,
So from 133rd south?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then is there plans to go the other way someday too?
Someday,
Okay.
as funds become available.
Yeah.
But we got a community crossing grant paid for 50% of this.
Oh, because of the school being over there?
No, so when the state raised the gas tax several years ago, they created a grant opportunity for municipalities and counties to help fund local road projects with that money. And we fall into a 50-50 category for that grant. So my understanding is the town's been applying very regularly to that program in order to maximize our own dollars with a match of 50% of the state's dollars.
Was the other project streets, was that included too?
The Vermilion and Highland?
Yeah.
They were all part of the same bid. They did not all participate in the Community Crossroads Matching Grant because we had maxed out. But we do have another award that we're given just recently for 133rd from Parish to the Railroad Viaduct. So that was just awarded to us a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else from the commission?
No.
Entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I need some NDVs on, letter notice.
We are adjourned, and I need some signatures.